idea of what Jesus went through. Because he made himself an ordinary man, so he felt it the way a man will feel it, and much more. When he was at the garden praying, a garden of Gethsemane, the Bible said it was a melancholic experience. The sweat coming out of him was like clots of blood. That's the highest level of fear and depression. After going through that fear for about 3 hours plus, they now arrested him. Bible scholar said sometime between midnight. Now, to show you the wickedness in the heart of this man, he was crucified at 9 a.m. Between midnight and 9 a.m., he went through 6 trials. 6. 3 Jewish trials, 3 Roman trials. Overnight. That's about 8 hours. He went through 6 trials. They wanted to kill him by all means. All the Jewish trials found him guilty because they were wicked. The Romans who didn't know God say he was innocent. Pilate said, I have not found any offense in this man. Even at that, they say, crucify him. Don't jail him. They picked a known criminal called Barabbas in the place of Jesus. Imagine the people you prayed for, the people you healed, the people you raised from the dead, the people you gave food, the people you gave money, all of them stand in front of you and say you are a thief, crucify him. And you are wondering, I came to your house when your daughter was sick. I prayed, she was healed. When you needed food, I came, I gave you food. You called me at midnight, I left, I went to pray for you. All of them gathered and were shouting, crucify him. As if that's not enough, when they now said to crucify him, it was the worst type. Now, crucifixion already is the worst type of death, but Jesus's own was the worst, because in the history of the Romans, you don't scourge a man and crucify him. If you scourge a man, scourging was enough, you let him go. If you crucify a man, then you don't scourge him. They scourged and crucified Jesus. I sent them a journal of American Doctors Society. They did an investigation on the physical death of Jesus and the conclusions they came out with. And I'll tell them to project the link on our handles. Go and download it and read it. These are not Christians. These are scholars. They decided to study the physical death of Jesus. What they came up with. I only came with the pictures to show you, to give you an idea. Show me the picture where they tied him to the stick to scourge him. The way they did it was they carried a fat tree, planted it, and locked your hand so that you can't shake. That means when they are scourging you, you can't turn. And they stripped you naked when they scourged you. The cane they used to whip you, they attach bones and metals to it. So anytime they wipe you, it pulled off your skin. There were records that said they whipped somebody like that and the thing tore the intestine and things came out. Somebody else was scourged like that. The whole back was peeled off. They saw bones. That's how the thing enters. They whip you and tear your skin. So every time they wipe you, if they pull it, your skin comes out. So that when they finish beating you, because of the volume of fluid you will lose, you will die of taste. If you don't die of heart failure. This is scourging. And the Romans don't flog 39. It's the Jews that flog 39. The Romans flog until they are tired. So the people beating you, they will beat you until they faint. When they finish scourging you like this, if life remains in you, then mercy spoke for you. After they scourged him, they now took him trekking with the cross for close to 1 kilometer to Golgotha. He lost so much weight that short journey he fell 3 times. He couldn't walk. And nobody will give him anything to drink. Historian said when his face was wiped, blood stains crested the mark of his face on the handkerchief. Everywhere was bleeding. Can I show you the scripture that described this punishment? Isaiah 52 verse 14. Give me the Passion Translation. When they finished beating Jesus, that alone would have been enough. See the way Isaiah 52 verse 14 described him after he was scourged. TPT, give me the Passion Translation. He said, just as many were appalled. You know the word appalled? The dictionary, who is an English person here? Huh? Highest level irritation. When you saw him, you are like, what is this? You couldn't describe it. He said, many were appalled at the sight of him. For so mad, you know the word mad, disfigured. So disfigured was his appearance, like an object of horror. When he came out of the scourging, if you saw him, you thought he was an object of horror. And he said he no longer looked like a man. They literally disfigured him. And they didn't stop there. They now gave him the cross, carried it, and went to Golgotha. Then they began crucifixion. In crucifixion, they nail you at your wrist, because the idea was for you to hang there until you suffocate. You know, the word excruciating didn't exist until the Romans started crucifying people, because the word excruciating comes from the word cruciating, and the word cruciate comes from crucifix. So it's excruciating is actually a pain you feel when you are crucified, because there's no pain in that class. When a man is crucified, his whole weight hangs on his wrist, and the only support he has are the nails on his toes. And when they crucify you, you saw a picture of Mel Gibson where you were straight. You can't be straight when they crucify you, because your back, there's no space to stand straight. You have to turn sideways to hang, because this is how you hang. Your weight actually hangs on your wrist. If you are tired and you want to gain small balance, you now push it on your toe that is on the nail. That's why when they wanted to kill the criminals, they broke their legs. And the reason is because when you are hanging, your stomach is bent so that your diaphragm can't breathe. Air can't enter. So Jesus was there for 6 hours. You know what that means? For 6 hours, every time he breathed, he had to pull himself up. So he pulled himself on a nail up to breathe for 6 hours. He will pull up, breathe, go back, pull up for 6 hours. Remember, his back is already torn. So as he's pulling up, he's feeling pains on the wrist, his back is scrubbing on the cross, and his leg is feeling pain. To breathe and go back. Every breath was death. For you. For 6 hours. And they were mocking him at the same time. So there was soulish torture, there was physical torture. As if that's not enough, he carried sin on him. So God was not connected to him at the time. God had to turn away. So there was spiritual torture, soulish torture, bodily torture. So much so that he cried, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? It's like a disconnection between your spirit and your soul. So the man was no longer alive. He died in the spirit before he died in the natural. The level of pain. We don't know what was done for us. In 6 hours. Can you imagine? And guess what? His mother was there. Can you stand naked before your mother? This is the man that the mother saw do wonders. How come? Imagine when he looked at their faces. See what you'll be interpreting. Some are saying, why? How come? Why can't you do anything today? Then the Jewish people were mocking. Physician, heal yourself. Fake prophet, I thought you said you had miracles. Why don't you come down? The thieves that were on the cross, one was mocking him. So from everywhere. Meanwhile, all the sicknesses on earth were on him on the cross. You have cancer, you say it's painful. He had cancer, diabetes, hepatitis, all that day at the zenith. Because he carried sickness, he carried sin, and he carried the reproach of God. You don't know the reproach of God until you go to hell. So for those 6 hours, he was in hellfire. Until a point came when the price was paid. He looked up and said, I'm thirsty. They gave him vinegar. He said, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the river that flows from the throne of God. I'm looking for that which satisfies indeed. When they didn't have it to offer, he said, it is finished. And he said, Father, unto you I commit my spirit. I commit. Because they couldn't kill him. They couldn't kill. No, you don't kill him. This commandment I've received from my Father. I have the power to lay down my life and to take it up. So he felt all those pains, keeping his life inside him. He had the choice to give up the ghost early. But if he gave up the ghost before the scourging, the sacrifice won't be complete. That's where it is more painful. He had the power to say, no, now I depart. But he kept his life and suffered the pain. From the scourging, to the shame, to the reproach, to the embarrassment, to the flogging, to the crucifixion, until he checked and saw that the sacrifice was complete. Because he had the choice of letting you go to hell, or of keeping you while he stays in hell. He chose to stay in hell.
No throne without the cross. There's no sacrifice without your blood. All this you did for me. No me without you. No throne without the cross. There's no sacrifice without your blood. All this